Some people think betrayal happens in a single moment. But I've learned something different. Betrayal grows quietly, in subtle conversations, tiny promises, and smiles that never reach the eyes. And the worst kind of betrayal. The kind you mistake for your own success. While the person beside you is silently preparing to erase you. I am Mercia Ven, and this is the story of how an executive fired me in the middle of the biggest deal of my life. And how I beat him at his own game. I was never the kind of woman who talked big. I wasn't loud in meetings. I didn't raise my voice for attention. My method was simple. Work hard, think strategically, and stay quiet, the kind of quiet people mistake for weakness. Until it becomes dangerous. My name is Mercia Ven, age 29. Position: Lead Corporate Negotiator. Company: Helixon Global Ventures. People always said, Mercia doesn't talk loudly, she just lands deals. The less I spoke, the stronger my position became. And maybe that was exactly what someone couldn't tolerate. His name was Ethan Cole. Executive Director of Helixon. Always threatened by my success. Always competing with me, even when I wasn't competing with him. Yes, he was the man who tried to destroy my career. But in the end, he got tangled in his own web. The biggest deal of my life. My biggest project for Helixon was a multi-million-dollar expansion deal with Aurora Dynamics. 8 months of research, endless strategy drafts, brilliant results. The whole company called me their rising star. I led every meeting. Even our CEO praised me openly. And Ethan, he hated every second the spotlight wasn't on him. One day he stopped me in the hallway and said, "Don't fly too high, Mercia. High flyers fall fast." I smiled and replied, "Sir, they also land better." That sentence must have cut deeper than I realized. The betrayal begins. We had entered the final negotiation week with Aurora Dynamics. 3 intense days. Closed-door sessions. Out of town. The entire deal was my work. My analysis. My framework. My strategy. Then was just following me. But I didn't know he was plotting something behind my back. On the third morning at 9:17 a.m., an email hit my inbox. Effective immediately, your employment with Helixon Global Ventures is terminated. I froze. 1 second. 2, 3. My heart wasn't beating, it was shattering. I walked out of the meeting room. Ethan sat in the lounge sipping coffee like nothing happened. "Sir, what is this?" He placed his napkin on the table and said, "Business, Mercia, nothing personal." And in that moment, time stopped. I built the project. I carried the deal. I took the company this far. And they threw me out mid-deal. Just so Ethan could steal the final signing moment. I stepped out of the hallway with shaking hands. A crushed heart. But I didn't break. Because after betrayal, the most dangerous person is the one who goes quiet. And I was very, very quiet. The turning point. I didn't cry in the lobby. I didn't scream. I didn't call anyone for sympathy. I thought, did I have legal rights? Yes, my frameworks were intellectual property. Could they replace me? No, my negotiation structure existed only in my mind. Did Ethan know the full strategy? No, he only knew my summarized versions. And the biggest factor, Aurora Dynamics trusted me, not Helixon. Without my credibility, they would never sign. I stood up. My revenge wasn't born from anger. It was born from clarity. When the game flips. The next day was the final negotiation session. I was officially terminated, so I couldn't attend. Ethan walked into that room with a satisfied smirk. The session began. Aurora's CEO looked around and asked, "Where is Mercia? She led this." Ethan casually said, "She wasn't aligned with our future structure." That sentence. That disrespect. That lie. It burned through the room. And then, the shock. Aurora Dynamics replied, "We're not signing anything without Mercia present. She understands this deal better than your entire board." Even from outside the building, I could feel Ethan's panic. His arrogance evaporated. His confidence collapsed. That moment, I will never forget. That evening, I received a private message from Aurora Dynamics. "Mercia, we want to meet you privately. We trust your vision, not Helixon's." I met them. I didn't reveal everything. Revenge doesn't scream. It just places the truth where it belongs. Calmly, I said, I'm no longer with Hellickson. But I know the deal better than anyone. And I know exactly what Ethan is trying to pull. They exchanged looks. Then said the sentence that changed my fate. Then let's sign with you, not them. The next day, Aurora Dynamics made an official announcement. We are dissolving all negotiations with Hellickson. We will instead collaborate directly with Mercia Venn as an independent consultant. Hellickson went into flames. The CEO was furious. The board was in disbelief. And Ethan, he turned pale, like the ground disappeared beneath him. He called me immediately. Mercia, you don't understand. Come back, let's talk. I spoke calmly. Sir, it's not personal. Just business. The exact words he used on me. But now, his reputation, his ego, his career. All collapsing. Justice without noise. Hellickson suspended Ethan immediately. An internal investigation began. They discovered the truth. His termination of me was illegal. No documentation. Pure sabotage. Driven by insecurity. And suddenly the company remembered. Mercia wasn't replaceable. She was the backbone. Ethan had always been intimidated. My new independent contract with Aurora Dynamics became the biggest consultancy deal of my life. 5 years, full authority, absolute respect. I stood exactly where they had pushed me down. But now, I was far, far above them. I didn't destroy anyone. I simply let the truth speak. Ethan ruined his own career. I just stopped protecting him. Through silence, dignity, and clarity, I rebuilt myself. Revenge doesn't always roar. Sometimes it stands tall. And dignity always wins. Sometimes I think about that moment. When Ethan fired me mid-deal. And I smile. Because if that day hadn't happened, I would never have found my freedom. My independence. My new identity. I am Mercia Venn. And this was my story. How an executive betrayed me in the middle of a major deal. And how I exposed him. And beat him. At his own game.